So here we are just approaching the Upper Barrakka Gardens, and in particular the saluting battery. It's just before 4 PM and they're going to fire one of the saluting guns at 4 o'clock.
Firing of our evening cannon, the tradition that goes back hundreds of years that we're keeping alive to this day. And of course there is still time for those of you up on the balcony to come down and join us in the battery for the firing. By coming down, when the cannon is fired, you'll be able to stand a little bit closer to it. You'll get some fantastic photo opportunities.
Close and secure it and remove the stick away. Then we have a fuse over here, sorry, a trigger and the fuse. Doing something like this. So you prepare the fuse just like the trigger. You bring the loaded fuse. This one's unloaded for the safety reasons, okay. And then a live one would look something just like that, already unloaded, having metal substances such as mercury and also live gunpowder. You put it in there, fully lock it onto the trigger, place it to the vent, bring the lanyard. When the time is ready, like that, the hammer will heat up the metal substances found in the percussion cap, which will ignite.
Okay, so they're actually going to start the ceremony of firing the gun at 4 o'clock now, and the reenactment soldier is just coming along with his powder magazine and approaching two of the guns. Actually, they're going to use one gun as a backup just in case the first one misfires. If it misfires, he can then run along to the second gun and fire that one instead. Hopefully one of them will actually work. So these are the two guns he's going to load up right now. Just approaching the gun. He's going to start with sliding a pricker, which is basically just a metal rod, down into the vent hole, and then he's going to open up the breech, look in the gun, make sure there's nothing in there, there's no debris or anything left over, a bird hasn't built its nest in there. He's then going to go to the powder magazine and extract one of the powder charges. And he's going to load that powder charge into the breech. He's going to lift the pricker up as he does it so that he knows where the pricker is going to come down on the powder bag. And he's going to spike the powder bag to penetrate it and allow access to the powder inside. He's just closed the breech now, and he's removed the pricker. So he's going to get ready the fuse, which is a combination of a brass tube filled with powder with a percussion cap on the top of it, and then a spring-loaded hammer which will strike the percussion cap, set off the powder in the fuse, which will then descend down into the gun and set off the main charge. So he's just winding the rope to pull the trigger effectively around it, because he's not planning to use this gun. He's only going to use it as a backup if this particular gun doesn't work. So we're looking at pretty much the same thing happening again here. He's running the pricker into the vent hole, open the breech, have a good look, make sure there's nothing in there, go back to the powder magazine, get the second charge and load it into the breech. So again, you can see he's lifting up the pricker, placing the charge in, and then he's going to stab the charge bag with the pricker to make sure there's a clear access for the fuse to enter the powder bag. He's just closed the breech, and now he's going to stab the bag properly and then set up the fuse again. So it's the fuse with a brass tube filled with powder with a percussion cap on the top and a spring-loaded hammer. And this time he's going to attach the firing cord to the spring-loaded hammer and hold it by his side, ready to fire the cannon. So that's the fuse going into the powder bag. He's just holding it at the moment because he's waiting for time to pass.
They give us warning.
No, that's it. That's when I jump.
Hey, big guy! Fire!